Ladies and gentlemen, pain has a way of demanding our attention. When someone we trust wounds us, when a man whom we have given our heart, our time, our loyalty inflicts pain, we stand at a crossroads. Our natural instinct is to react, to fight back, to cry out, to demand justice. But let me tell you today, there is a way to rise above, a way to turn pain into power, and in doing so, leave the one who hurt you utterly confused. The greatest confusion you can ever place upon the one who wounded you is to refuse to be defined by the pain they caused. Because you see, pain is a test. It is not the end of you, but a refining process, a revealing of what truly lies within. If you allow pain to shape you into bitterness, the one who hurt you has won. But if you allow it to shape you into wisdom, into grace, into an unstoppable force of purpose, then you have taken the very weapon used against you and turned it into a tool for your victory. Let me give you the secret. When a man expects you to break, stand taller. When he expects you to beg, rise in dignity. When he expects you to curse him, bless yourself with silence. When he expects you to seek revenge, succeed in your calling. Nothing confuses a person more than watching the one they thought they destroyed become unstoppable. Now listen to me carefully. This is not about pretending you are not hurt. No, your pain is real. Your tears are real. But here is what is more powerful than pain: wisdom. Because pain handled wrongly destroys. Every great person you admire, every strong woman you see standing in the light has known betrayal, has faced heartbreak, has encountered disappointment. But what makes them different? They refused to let pain become their identity. Here is where you must make a decision. Will you allow yourself to be defined by the one who hurt you? Or will you rise so high that even the one who tried to break you cannot recognize you anymore? This is your moment. Take the pain not as a sentence but as a seed. Water it with self-respect. Nurture it with purpose. And watch as you grow beyond the reach of those who thought they could keep you down. Confuse them, not with words, not with arguments, not with retaliation, but with transformation. And when they look for the broken version of you, let them find someone they never expected. Let them find you. Let them find you thriving. Let them find you untouchable. Refuse to be defined by pain. Instead of letting hurt shape you into bitterness, use it as a refining process to grow stronger and wiser. Respond in an unexpected way. When someone expects you to break, stand tall. When they expect you to beg, hold your dignity. When they expect you to seek revenge, focus on your success instead. Pain is a test, not the end. How you handle pain determines your future. Handled wrongly, it destroys. Handled wisely, it transforms you into a greater version of yourself. Rise above, don't retaliate. The best way to confuse someone who hurts you is not through arguments or revenge, but through growth, self-respect, and purpose. Transformation is the ultimate response. Elevate yourself so much that even the person who tried to break you can no longer recognize the person you've become. Winning is about thriving, not hurting back. The real victory is when you heal, succeed, and move forward in life without being held back by the wounds of your past. Pain is a powerful force, but it only has as much control over your life as you allow it to. When someone wounds you, especially someone you trusted, the immediate response is often to let that pain define who you are. You feel broken, betrayed, and perhaps even unworthy. But here is the truth. The person who hurt you does not have the authority to determine your worth or your destiny. That power belongs to you alone. Refusing to be defined by pain means understanding that pain is an experience, not an identity. What happened to you is a chapter in your story, not the entire book. Too often people allow a moment of suffering to become a lifetime of bitterness. They replay the hurt in their minds over and over again, letting it shape how they see themselves, how they interact with others, and even how they pursue their dreams. But when you shift your mindset and see pain as something you encountered rather than something you are, you take back control. One of the greatest mistakes you can make is to internalize someone else's wrongdoing as a reflection of your value. When a man hurts you, it is not proof that you were not enough. It is not confirmation that you were unworthy of love or respect. It is simply evidence of his own shortcomings, his own failure to appreciate what he had in you. But if you allow that pain to consume you, if you start seeing yourself through the lens of what happened, you are handing over your power. You are allowing the actions of another to dictate the rest of your life. Instead, stand firm in the knowledge of who you are. You are more than the betrayal, more than the disappointment, more than the rejection. The best way to move forward is to choose growth over grief. This does not mean ignoring your emotions or pretending you were never hurt. It means processing the pain, learning from it, and then using it as fuel to elevate yourself. Let the experience teach you, let it refine you, but never let it become the definition of your identity. When you refuse to be defined by pain, you step into a new level of strength. You walk with confidence, knowing that nothing and no one has the power to break you unless you give them permission. And the most powerful response to anyone who thought they could diminish you is to rise so high that they become irrelevant in the story of your life. The most effective way to disarm someone who hurt you is to respond in a way they never expected. People who cause pain often assume they have control over your emotions, that their actions will leave you devastated, broken, or desperate for their validation. But when you choose a response that contradicts their expectations, you take back the power they thought they had over you. When someone expects you to break, stand tall. Strength confuses those who anticipated your downfall. They expect to see you drowning in sadness, lost in self-pity, or begging for their attention. But when you carry yourself with dignity and confidence, it forces them to question their influence over you. Strength does not mean you do not feel pain. It means you refuse to let pain define your actions. When they expect you to beg, hold your dignity. Many people who hurt others do so because they thrive on control. They want to see you pleading for another chance, questioning what you did wrong, or seeking their approval. But when you maintain your self-respect and walk away with grace, they are left unsettled. They expected your world to revolve around them, and when it doesn't, they are the ones left in confusion. When they expect you to curse them, bless yourself with silence. Not every battle is worth fighting. And not every offense requires a reaction. Silence is powerful. It sends a message louder than words ever could. When someone tries to provoke you, hoping for an emotional reaction, and you respond with calmness and restraint, it unsettles them. They lose the satisfaction of knowing they affected you. Instead of wasting energy arguing or seeking revenge, redirect your focus on building yourself. When they expect you to seek revenge, succeed in your calling. The greatest revenge is not payback. It is people who intentionally hurt others often do so because they themselves are weak, insecure, or unfulfilled. They expect you to stay stuck in pain, dwelling on their actions. But when you shift your focus toward your personal growth, your success, and your happiness, it leaves them confused. They wanted to break you, but instead they see you thriving. The most unexpected response to pain is transformation. When you become better, wise, and more fulfilled despite the hurt, it leaves those who cause the pain speechless. They expected destruction, but instead they witness elevation. And that is the ultimate power. You take what was meant to destroy you and use it as fuel to rise higher than ever before. Pain is not the end of your story. It is a test. When life wounds you, when betrayal shakes your foundation, when someone you trusted causes deep hurt, you are faced with a choice. Will you allow the pain to break you, or will you let it build you? Every person who has achieved greatness has faced moments of suffering. What separates them from those who remain stuck in their wounds is how they chose to handle pain. Pain, when handled wrongly, destroys. It turns into bitterness, resentment, and self-doubt. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of reliving what happened, questioning why it occurred, and wondering if you will ever heal. When you dwell on pain without purpose, it becomes a poison that infects your mind, heart, and spirit. It affects how you see yourself, how you treat others, and how you move forward in life. Many people spend years, even lifetimes, carrying wounds that were never meant to define them. They hold on to anger, replay past hurts, and allow what someone else did to dictate their future. But pain, when handled wisely, transforms. It refines your character, strengthens your resilience, and deepens your understanding of yourself. The most powerful people in the world are not those who never experience pain. They are the ones who turn pain into wisdom. Instead of letting betrayal make them bitter, they let it make them better. Instead of allowing heartbreak to paralyze them, they allowed it to propel them forward. They learned the lessons, grew from the experience, and refused to let someone else's actions determine their future. Handling pain wisely means seeing it as a teacher, not an enemy. Every painful experience carries a lesson about yourself, about others, about life. When you shift your perspective from why did this happen to me to what can I learn from this, you take control of the situation. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become a student of life, gaining wisdom that will serve you in the future. The truth is, pain will come to everyone at some point. You cannot always control who hurts you, but you can control what you do with that hurt. You can allow it to chain you to the past, or you can use it as fuel to build a stronger, wiser, more unstoppable version of yourself. When you handle pain wisely, it no longer weakens you, it empowers you, it no longer limits you, it elevates you. And that is when you truly win. Rising above pain and choosing not to retaliate is one of the most powerful moves you can make. When someone hurts you, their goal, whether intentional or not, is to exert control over your emotions. They expect anger, tears, revenge, or some reaction that validates their ability to affect you. But when you refuse to engage in their game, when you elevate yourself beyond their reach, you leave them powerless and confused. The natural human instinct is to fight back, to return pain for pain, to make the other person feel what they made you feel. But what does revenge accomplish? It keeps you tied to the very person who hurt you. It keeps you emotionally invested in someone who's already proven they do not deserve that level of attention. Retaliation does not heal wounds, it deepens them. It does not bring closure, it prolongs the pain. The moment you decide that your energy is too valuable to waste on proving a point to someone unworthy, you begin to reclaim your strength. Rising above does not mean ignoring what happened. It means acknowledging the pain, learning from it, and then making a conscious decision to move forward. It means choosing growth over grudges. The best way to respond to betrayal is not with words, not with arguments, and certainly not with vengeance. It is with success. Nothing unsettles a person more than watching someone they tried to break become stronger, wiser, and more radiant than before. When you refuse to retaliate, you protect your peace. You do not let negativity take root in your heart. You do not allow someone else's actions to dictate your emotions, decisions, or future. You maintain your dignity, your self-respect, and your power. And make no mistake, there is nothing more confusing to someone who expected a reaction than complete indifference. There is a saying, the best revenge is a life well lived. when someone who hurt you sees that their actions did not stop you, that you are still thriving, still joyful, still pursuing your dreams, it forces them to question everything. Did they truly have the power they thought they had? Did they really leave a lasting impact? The answer becomes clear when they see you flourishing beyond what they imagined. The greatest power you hold is in your ability to walk away without looking back, to rise above, not because you are weak, but because you are too strong to be dragged down, to succeed, not to prove them wrong, but to prove yourself right. And in doing so, you not only confuse them, you free yourself. Transformation is the most powerful response to pain. When someone hurts you, they expect to leave a lasting scar. They expect you to remain wounded, broken, or stuck in the memory of what happened. But when you take that pain and use it as fuel to become a stronger, wiser, and more refined version of yourself, you leave them in confusion. The person they expected to see bitter, resentful, or lost no longer exists. Instead, they find someone they never saw coming, a transformed, elevated, unstoppable version of you. True transformation is not about pretending you were never hurt. It is about taking that pain and reshaping it into something powerful. It is about using every lesson, every disappointment, and every betrayal as a stepping stone toward growth. The key is understanding that your past does not define you, but how you respond to it does. The pain may have touched you, but it does not have the right to shape your future unless you give it permission. One of the greatest ways to confuse those who try to break you is to elevate beyond their reach. When they expect you to hold on to the pain, choose healing. When they assume you will be stuck in the past, step boldly into your future. When they believe you will carry the burden of their actions, walk freely in self-liberation, because here's the truth. Transformation is not for them, it is for you. It is about becoming so focused on your growth, your peace, and your success that their actions become irrelevant. Transformation happens when you shift your energy from pain to purpose. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, how can I use this to become better? Every great individual in history has faced pain, but the difference is in their response. Some allow it to break them, others allow it to build them. You must decide which category you will fall into. And here's the most powerful part. When you transform, you do not need to announce it. Your growth, your peace, and your elevation will speak for itself. The person who hurt you will one day look for the version of you they wounded, only to find that person no longer exists. They will see someone who is risen above. Someone who has turned their pain into wisdom and their struggle into strength. And at that moment, they will realize that the biggest mistake they ever made was thinking they could break you. That is the ultimate power, becoming someone they never expected, someone they can no longer touch, and someone who has outgrown the very pain they tried to trap you in. Winning is not about hurting back. It is about thriving beyond what anyone imagined. When someone causes you pain, they often expect your world to revolve around them. They expect you to stay stuck in the hurt, replaying what happened, allowing their actions to control your emotions and future. But the greatest victory you can ever achieve is not in revenge, not in proving a point, but in living a life so fulfilled, so joyful, so successful that their actions become insignificant in the grand scheme of your journey. Many people waste years of their lives trying to get even with those who wrong them. They plot. They seek opportunities to retaliate. They stay consumed by thoughts of justice. But here's the truth. The time and energy you spend trying to make someone else regret hurting you is time and energy stolen from your own growth. The more you focus on them, the less you focus on yourself. And that is exactly what they want, to occupy space in your mind, to have an ongoing influence over your emotions, to make you believe that your healing is dependent on their regret. But real power is in indifference. Real victory is in moving forward with such focus and determination that their actions no longer matter. Winning is not about making them feel the pain they inflicted. It is about ensuring that their pain never had the power to limit you in the first place. When they see you thriving, smiling, achieving, growing, they will realize that their attempt to break you failed. They will see that instead of destroying you, they unknowingly pushed you toward an even greater version of yourself. The best response to betrayal is elevation. The best answer to heartbreak is happiness. The best reaction to being underestimated is exceeding expectations. Do not waste your life trying to prove your worth to those who fail to see it. Instead, invest in yourself. Chase your dreams. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Build a life that is so fulfilling, so purposeful, that looking back becomes unnecessary. One day, the person who hurt you may look at your life and realize they lost something valuable, but by then you will be so far ahead, so deeply engaged in your own joy and success, that their realization will mean nothing to you. And that is true victory, not in their regret, but in your ability to rise so high that their presence, their opinions, and their actions are no longer relevant. That is how you truly win. Pain is inevitable, but how you respond to it determines your destiny. When someone hurts you, you stand at a crossroads. You can allow the pain to define you, or you can use it to refine you. The greatest confusion you can create for those who try to break you is not in words, not in revenge, but in transformation. Rise above their expectations, walk in dignity, choose healing over hatred, choose wisdom over retaliation, choose success over seeking validation. The ultimate power is not in proving them wrong, it is in proving yourself right. Right about your strength, right about your worth, right about your ability to turn pain into purpose. The person who hurt you will expect your destruction, but instead let them witness your elevation. Let them look for the broken version of you and find someone they never imagined. A person who is healed, whole, and unstoppable. True victory is not in their regret, but in your ability to thrive beyond their reach. When you choose peace over pettiness, growth over grudges, and success over suffering, you do not just win, you set yourself free. And in that freedom, you will realize that the one who once had the power to hurt you no longer has the power to matter. That is how you win. That is how you rise. That is how you confuse them beyond measure.